Hey there, coin collectors and casual viewers! You ever sift through your change and wonder if you've got a hidden treasure just chilling in your pocket? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1968 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that, believe it or not, can be worth a whopping $2 million. Yes, you heard me right. That's not a typo. I'm not trying to sell you a timeshare in Florida or anything. Now, before you go rummaging through your piggy banks and accidentally taking a sledgehammer to it, let's break down why this little penny is making such big waves in the coin collecting world. Alright, so first things first, the 1968 D-penny. At first glance, it looks like your everyday cent, right? But here's where it gets spicy. In 1968, the Denver Mint produced a small batch of pennies that were accidentally made with a little extra copper. Now, most pennies are made with a zinc core, but this batch? Pure gold, well, not gold, but a mistake that turned out to be a golden opportunity. Now, you might be asking yourself, how the heck do I know if I've got one of these million-dollar beauties? Good question. Here's what you need to look for. First, check the mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. If it's a D4 Denver, that's your first clue. Then, inspect the surface for any signs that it might be from that special batch. Generally, these coins have a distinct luster, and some collectors say they feel different. Kinda like when you touch a cat and you realize it's a hairless cat. You know something's up. Okay, let's say you find one. What's next? Well, condition is key, my friends. The better the condition, the more it's worth. A coin that looks like it's just rolled off the mint can go for thousands, while a beat-up penny may not even cover your parking meter. It's like dating. If you show up looking like a hot mess, you're not gonna score big. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was cleaning out my grandmother's old cookie jar, because who doesn't raid grandma's cookie jar, right? Well, I found a bunch of old coins, including a 1968 penny. I almost tossed it aside, thinking it was just another boring penny. But then I remembered what I learned about the 1968 D. I freaked out and did some research, only to discover it was just a regular one. But hey, I found a 1943 steel penny in there, which was still pretty cool. Moral of the story? Always check your change. It might lead to a delicious cookie or a valuable penny. So, there you have it. The 1968 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a tiny coin with a giant story and a potentially giant value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just a curious bystander, remember to keep your eyes peeled when you're going through your change. 1982 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny that's making headlines and turning heads with a jaw-dropping market value of, hold on to your wallets, $1.9 million. That's right, folks. If you've got one of these hidden in your piggy bank or stuck in the back of your couch, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. Or at least, a copper one. Alright, let's break this down. The 1982 D-penny has become quite the celebrity in the numismatic world. So, what's so special about it? Well, it turns out, this penny has a bit of a misadventure story behind it. You see, in 1982, the US Mint decided to change the composition of the penny from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc with just a tiny bit of copper. But during that transition, some copper pennies were still being minted. The 1982 D is one of those special coins that can be found in that transition batch. Now, you might be asking, how on earth does a single penny end up being worth $1.9 million? Well, it all comes down to rarity and condition. Only a few of these little copper nuggets were minted, and even fewer are still in pristine condition. If you find one that's graded MS67 or higher, you could be cashing in big time. Let me share a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my late grandmother's old coin collection. It was a mix of shiny new pennies and some that looked like they'd been through a war zone. I was about to toss a few of the older, worn-out coins when I suddenly thought, wait, what if I'm tossing a fortune? I spent hours looking online, trying to figure out what was worth keeping. Turns out, I found a few rare coins that weren't worth millions but were definitely worth more than I expected. So, lesson learned, don't underestimate your pennies. They might just have a secret life you didn't know about. So, how can you tell if you've got a golden, or should I say, copper, opportunity on your hands? First, check the mint mark. It's located right below Lincoln's shoulder. If you see a D, you're halfway there. Next, you'll want to look at the coin's condition. Grading coins can be tricky, but generally, you want to look for, is Lincoln looking dapper and well-defined? Does the penny have a nice shine? Scratches, dents, or other damage can seriously drop its value. Remember, even if you don't find the big winner, other 1982 pennies can also be valuable if they're in great shape. So, folks, as you rummage through your change jars and check those couch cushions, keep an eye out for the 1982 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. You could be sitting on a small fortune. We're diving into a penny that's worth more than some people's cars, a little coin that could make you feel like a millionaire. Yes, I'm talking about the elusive 1988 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. You heard that right. This little guy could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's uncover the secrets of this penny. You might just find that your pocket change is about to become your treasure chest. Alright, let's break this down. First off, you're probably wondering, what's the deal with the 1988 No Mint Mark penny? Well, it all starts with a little production glitch. You see, in 1988, the US Mint accidentally produced a handful of pennies without the mint mark. Normally, pennies from that year have a little P or D to tell you where they were made. But if you find one without any mint mark, that's where the magic happens. Now let's talk numbers. As of now, the current market value of a 1988 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is around $1.8 million. I know, right? That's enough to buy a lifetime supply of avocado toast, or at least a fancy coffee every day for a year. But here's a fun fact. Not every 1988 penny is a golden goose. In fact, the vast majority of them aren't worth more than a cent. To really cash in on this bad boy, you need to have one that's in mint condition. We're talking about one that's been preserved so well, it might as well have its own security detail. You know, kind of like when I tried to keep my rare Pokemon cards safe. I put them in sleeves, locked them in a box, and then my dog discovered that box and turned it into his new chew toy. Lesson learned, not everything you love can be protected from the elements, or pets, so, how can you tell if you have this $1 million penny? First, look for the mint mark. If you don't see a P or D, you might be onto something. Next, check the condition. The more pristine it is, the higher the value. If it's shiny and new-looking, you might just have a small fortune on your hands. But wait! Before you start tearing through your piggy banks and couch cushions, let's talk about how to verify if you actually have a valuable penny. You can use a simple magnifying glass to check for that mint mark. If it's not there, snap a couple of high-quality pictures and do a little online research or consult with a local coin dealer. It's kind of like being on a treasure hunt, but instead of a map, you have a magnifying glass and a hope that the kids don't steal your snacks while you're at it. So, if you find that lucky penny, congratulations! You're one step closer to being a millionaire, unless you've already spent it on a candy bar. Winks. But hey, even if you don't find that 1988 No Mint Mark penny, there are plenty of other coins out there that could be worth some serious cash. Before you go off on your penny hunting adventure, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got loads of tips and tricks on coin hunting, collecting, and turning your spare change into real treasure. Plus, I promise to share more of my oops moments with you, like that time I thought I found a rare quarter but it turned out to be just a dirty nickel. Have you ever rummaged through your pocket change and wondered if you might strike gold? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a coin that could be worth a whopping $1.7 million asterisk. Yes, you heard that right, 1.7 million bucks. And no, it's not a rare gold coin from the 1800s. It's a humble 1989 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Let's get into it. Now, before you start rifling through your change jar like a squirrel on caffeine, let's break down what makes this penny so special. First off, most pennies from 1989 have a mint mark, either an S for San Francisco or no mint mark at all if they were produced in Philadelphia. But here's where it gets juicy. The no mint mark version was produced in a much smaller quantity than its marked siblings, making it incredibly rare. To put it into perspective, imagine you're at a party where there are 100 cupcakes, and one of them has a sprinkle of magic fairy dust. Everyone is scrambling for that one cupcake, while the others just sit there looking, well, like regular cupcakes. That's basically our no mint mark penny. Now I know what you're thinking. But how can a penny be worth so much? My grandma always told me to save my pennies. And she was right, sort of. If your grandma had the foresight to keep this specific penny, she might just be on the road to retirement in sunny Florida. Speaking of my grandma, let me tell you a quick story. One day, I was visiting her, and I saw her counting her change like it was a high-stakes poker game. I jokingly asked her if she was saving up for a new pair of orthopedic shoes. She looked at me with a smirk and said, "Honey, I've got a rare penny worth a fortune." I thought she was just being her usual charming self until she showed me this ancient-looking penny. It turns out she was hoarding all her change, thinking one of them might be special. Spoiler alert, they weren't. But if she had found a 1989 no mint mark penny, I wouldn't be the one borrowing money from her. So, how do you know if your penny is the one? The no mint mark Lincoln penny from 1989 can be identified by checking the reverse side. If it's smooth and has no mint mark, congratulations. You might be sitting on a gold mine, or at least a penny worth a whole lot more than a regular one. But hold your horses. Just because you have a no mint mark penny doesn't mean it's automatically worth a fortune. You also need to consider its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A well-preserved penny can command a much higher price. Imagine finding a penny that's been passed around like a family heirloom for decades, and it's all crusty and tarnished. It's like finding an old sandwich in the back of your fridge. Disappointing, but hey, at least it's still there. So, folks, keep your eyes peeled and don't underestimate your change. You might just have a little gold mine lying around your house. Remember, if you find that elusive 1989 no mint mark penny, you could be one step closer to funding that vacation you've been dreaming about, or maybe just buying a really nice pair of shoes, orthopedic or not. We're diving into a penny that's worth way more than just its 2 cents. In fact, the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny has been known to fetch a staggering $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. More than most of us make in a year. So, grab your magnifying glass, because this is gonna be a penny for your thoughts. Now, let's break this down. First off, you might be wondering, what makes this penny so special? Great question. Most 1991 pennies have a mint mark that shows where they were made, either in Philadelphia or Denver. But this rare gem? It has no mint mark. That's right, no P or D means it's an anomaly, and collectors go crazy for these rare finds. Imagine you're at a garage sale, sipping a lukewarm soda, and you spot a jar of coins. You dig through, and boom, you find a 1991 penny. Do you know what that means? You've hit the jackpot. It's like finding out that the old t-shirt you thought was just for lounging is actually a vintage collectible worth hundreds. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. You see, back in college, I had a roommate who was convinced that every penny was worth keeping. I thought he was a bit off his rocker. It's just a penny, dude. Fast forward a few months, and he finds a 1982 copper penny. He flips it for over $1,000. I was like, why didn't I listen to you? So, moral of the story, always check your pennies, folks, because you never know what you've got until it's gone, or until it's worth a small fortune. Now, the key to understanding the value of the 1991 no mint mark penny is rarity. It's estimated that only about 1,500 of these beauties exist, and that makes them highly sought after by collectors. Just think about it. You could be holding a mini gold mine in your hands, and all it takes is a little bit of curiosity. Okay, so how do you identify one of these rarities? First, check the date, 1991 obviously. Then, flip it over and look for that mint mark. If it's not there, you've struck penny gold. But hold on, before you get too excited, it's crucial to assess the condition. A penny in mint condition can skyrocket in value, while a beat-up one might not fetch much. So treat it like the fragile treasure it is. Collecting coins isn't just about the money, though. It's about the stories and connections you make along the way. It's like a treasure hunt that brings back memories of our past, whether it's childhood pocket change or a road trip where you stop to search for rare finds. Plus, you never know when you might find something that can change your life, or at least pay for a nice dinner. So there you have it, folks. The 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny might just be lurking in your change jar, waiting to make you the next millionaire. If you've enjoyed learning about this little treasure, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks on coins worth money. Join our growing community of collectors and treasure hunters, because who knows what other gems we'll uncover together. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1992 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, which, believe it or not, is valued at a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yes, you heard me correctly. That's enough to buy a small island, or at least a really nice cup of coffee, or 10. So, if you've got a jar of pennies sitting around, you might want to take a closer look before you toss them into your next penny saver jar. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. The 1992 mint Mark Lincoln penny is famous for a couple of reasons. First, it was minted in Denver, hence the D mark. But what really sets it apart is a little mishap at the mint. Yep, a genuine minting error. In 1992, some of these pennies were struck with a special design known as the close AM variety, which means the A and M in America on the reverse side are very close together. Kind of like that friend who always stands way too close to you at parties, just a little awkward. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Only a few hundred of these close AM varieties are believed to exist. And that rarity? Well, it's what has sent prices skyrocketing. Most 1992 pennies are worth just 1 cent, but if you've got one of these elusive close AM beauties, you could be sitting on a fortune. Let's take a little side trip here. I remember when I was a kid, my grandma had a giant jar of coins. I thought I'd struck gold when I found a 1975 penny in there. I was ready to retire on my newfound wealth, only to discover it was worth, well, a penny. But that day taught me a valuable lesson about looking closely, though I think it was just my grandma trying to teach me about the importance of saving. If only she knew how close to a mint error I was sitting on. Now, how do you figure out if you've got one of these rare 1992 pennies? First off, you'll want to check the reverse side, specifically the A and M in America. If they're almost touching, congratulations. You're not just a penny pincher, you might just be a millionaire in the making. But if they're more spaced out, then you've got the standard version. And let's be real, you're not going to retire on that one. You can also look for other signs of rarity. Check the condition. A penny that's in mint condition, with no scratches or wear, is going to be worth a lot more. And if you happen to find one in a coin shop or a collection, you might want to grab it faster than I grab snacks during a movie marathon. Now, let's talk about selling these coins. If you think you've got the golden ticket, you can either sell it online through auction sites, or even find local coin shops to appraise it. Just remember, always get a second opinion. You don't want to be that person who gets swindled. Trust me, I learned that the hard way with my childhood collection of Pokemon cards. So, there you have it. The 1992 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny could be worth more than your average used car, if you've got the right one. Before you go on a penny hunting spree, remember to look closely, check for those rare features, and keep an eye out for those mint conditions. You never know what hidden treasures you might find. 2001 Lincoln 1-cent penny. And I'm not just talking about that shiny copper coin you tossed in your piggy bank. Nope. This penny has a rare gem that can be worth a whopping $1.6 million. Yup, you heard me right. $1.6 million. Now I know what you're thinking. Did my grandma leave me a treasure map, and I didn't even know it? Well, put on your treasure hunting hats, because we're about to uncover some serious coin secrets. Alright, let's get into it. First things first, what's so special about the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny? You might be wondering why this particular penny is worth more than your average car. The answer lies in a little thing called rarity. So, here's the scoop. The 2001 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, and some of them, due to a quirky little oversight, didn't have the mint mark on them. You know, the tiny P that usually tells you where a coin was made. This missing mint mark makes these pennies super rare. While most pennies are worth just 1 cent, if you can even find someone who'll take them for that, this special 2001 no mint mark penny can be worth $1.6 million. How insane is that? Just imagine, you could pay off your student loans with a single coin. Or buy that lifetime supply of tacos you've been dreaming about. Speaking of tacos, let me tell you a little story. A few months back, I was going through my old change jar, you know, the one where you throw all your loose change when you come home. I found an old 2001 penny at the bottom, and for a second, I thought I had hit the jackpot. I ran around my apartment like I was on a game show, but alas, it turned out to be a regular OL penny. I almost cried into my taco salad. Grinning face was wet, but hey, at least I got a good laugh out of it. Now, if you think you might have one of these rare beauties, here's what to do next. Start by checking for that mint mark. If it's missing, congratulations, you might just have a piece of history on your hands. But remember, condition matters. Coins in excellent condition, with no scratches or wear, are worth significantly more. The key words here are excellent condition. If it looks like it's been through a war, it's not going to get you that 1.6 million. More like 1.6 cents. Now, let's talk about where to find out more about the value of your pennies. Websites like eBay can give you an idea of how much these rare coins are selling for in real time. Just be sure to check completed listings to see what people are actually paying, not just what sellers are asking. And if you find out your penny is worth a fortune, be careful. Don't go throwing it around like it's just another piece of change. You might just break a heart or two. So, to wrap it all up, if you've got a 2001 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, congratulations, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Check your pockets, your jars, your couch cushions, everywhere. Who knows, you might just stumble upon a penny that could change your life. Just remember to keep your expectations realistic. Not every penny is a treasure, but if you find that one, you'll be the coolest coin collector in town. Smiling face with sunglasses. And if you want to learn more about rare coins, tips on what to look for, and maybe a little bit more about my taco adventures. 2006 mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny. Grab your magnifying glass because this little copper coin could be worth a whopping $1.3 million. That's right, I said million. And trust me, this isn't some kind of coin collector's fever dream. But before we get into the details, let me tell you about that one time I thought I struck gold, only to realize I was just digging through my couch cushions for loose change. Spoiler alert, I didn't find anything valuable except for some lint and a random old pizza receipt. So let's dive in and see how this penny is turning heads and fattening wallets. Alright, folks, let's get into the nitty-gritty. The 2006 mint mark Lincoln penny is what we call a business strike penny. But what makes it so special? Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's not just about being a penny, it's about rarity and condition. So, here's the scoop. In 2006, the Denver Mint produced a regular batch of these pennies, but only a few hundred were mistakenly made with the double die obverse error. This means that the die that stamped these coins was misaligned, resulting in a doubled image of Lincoln's profile. The result? A coin that's not just worth a penny but a mighty fine penny. And here's where it gets interesting. These error coins have been known to sell for astronomical prices at auctions. Just to give you some perspective, a pristine condition 2006 double-die penny recently sold for about $1.3 million. That's a lot of pizzas. Or, you know, it could be the perfect down payment on a house, if you're into that kind of thing. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I check if my penny is worth $1 million? Well, let me share a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my grandma's old coin jar. Don't worry, she was right there watching. I found a bunch of old pennies, and I swear I thought I was holding a treasure map. After some research, I discovered some were actually worth a few bucks. But alas, no $1,000,000 finds. Just my luck, so here's how you can spot the difference. Look for the D mint mark on the back of the coin, and check the quality. If it has that distinctive double image, you could be holding a serious rarity. But beware, not every 2060 penny is valuable. Condition is key. If it's all scratched up and looking like it survived a lava flow, you might be out of luck. But if it's shiny and well preserved, who knows what kind of fortune you might be sitting on. So, do some digging. Your next $1,000,000 discovery might be hiding in your change jar or, like me, in that couch that's seen better days. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, let's recap. The 2060 mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1.3 million if it's one of those elusive double die errors. So don't overlook those pennies. Check your wallets, your piggy banks, and yes, even the couch cushions. You never know when you might find a little piece of history that's worth more than just pocket change. And hey, if you enjoyed this adventure into the world of valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more tips on coins worth money and other hidden treasures. Who knows? The next video might just save you from diving back into that couch for change. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your pockets be filled with fortune.